All right, all right. It is 1:31, 1:31, and you are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. It's Wealthy Wisdom Women Wednesday. It's been a great, and it is time for our last segment of Heart Talk. Heart Talk is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come to renew our minds and restore our hearts. And I'm so thankful to be here with you guys today. Today's show was awesome. We had Nigel Madison come on and share her love with us and share her story of how she's kicking lupus's butt. For those of you who do not know, lupus is an autoimmune disease and where the immune system attacks tissues within your body. It is terrible, and it's one of those things where it's so unpredictable and so many different things happen and you just never know. It's really, it can get very bad. And I know because growing up, my mother had lupus. She's in remission now. That's a blessing. And I believe it's gone. I just believe it's absolutely gone. It's never coming back. But I thank you, Nigel, for sharing that. And then our Diamond in the Rough segment was talking about the power of our thoughts, and it was talking about the subconscious mind. And I just want to talk just to kind of sum everything up and just let you know that wealth is your wealth is what you think it is. Wealth is what you think is wealth is what you think, and that's just at the the basic truth. It doesn't matter what you're thinking, what you're feeling, where you are right now in your life. However you feel about yourself, that's what you're going to have. And the Bible tells us, as a man thinketh, so is he. Bruce talked about how our conditioning impacts us in such a way to where we're going to just keep repeating whatever we see in our family, whatever we see in the community, whatever we see in the world around us. If we've been conditioned to that, we're going to keep doing it until we are willing to put the work in and see a different picture. So what I want to talk about in this last segment, as we talk about wealth, the wealth is in you. The wealth is in you and the decisions that you're going to choose to make to change your life. I don't want you to continue to blame other people for your life not being the way it is. Do not blame your neighborhood or the color of your skin for the fact that you might not have the money that you want to have or the degree that you want to have. Don't blame your neighborhood or the color of the skin for the reason why you may have some of the things that you have and where you may be. Don't blame your parents for why you can't do whatever. That might be how you got started, but it does not determine how you're going to finish. How you're going to finish is determined by what you're going to think about your finish. Are you focused on changing your life no matter what? Are you willing to put the necessary effort and energy into seeing change in your life? When I started this process and when I started listening to videos and watching people like Bruce Lipton and reading some of his work and just getting myself just diving in this learning about the conscious mind and subconscious mind, and it's so much to learn. I am still just scratching the surface, but I realized that I was conditioned the wrong way, and that's where that poverty mind was coming from. That's where the depression was coming from. That's where the lack of self-worth, a lot of that was from my programming. See, the devil knew what I was dealing with. He knew what my mom was dealing with. He knew what everybody around us was dealing with. And if we don't ever have an out, if we never get exposed to a new way of thinking, a new way of being, then we're going to continue to repeat these cycles, even if we don't want to. Your desire is not enough to make you change. You have to take action. You have to take continuous action, especially when you don't feel like it. It's one thing to have a desire. It's a whole nother thing to make a decision. And that's what I talk about in the new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. I talk about the desire. I talk about the pushing past the want. That's what sends us back to abusive relationships. That's what keeps us in a cycle of debt and poverty when we don't make a decision, when we just say, oh, I desire to be happy, but we don't make a decision to be happy. I desire to be wealthy, but we don't make it. I desire to be financially free, but we don't make a decision to be financially free. Your wealth is your wealth. What do you choose your wealth to be? How are you going to walk in it and act on it? What are you going to do with that? These are questions I want you to think about as you think about wealth. As you think about wealth, I realized how wealthy I was, and it wasn't about my bank account. It was not about the inheritance that was left me or awaiting me. It wasn't about any of that. It was about me allowing my purpose to come from out me and go and share it with the world, to come from within and go out and share and spread that message and spread that word throughout the world by doing like what I'm doing right now. This is wealth. This is wealthy. And what we have to do is we have to understand when I get the calls and the texts and I have conversations with you guys, and you're like, man, I never thought about that like that. I've never even considered my life that way. I never even, thought that I could even change this. I thought I had to be like this. I thought I had to conduct myself like this. I thought I had to have these children like this. I had to live my life like this because this is what my mom did. This is what my dad did. This is what my grandparents did. Some of us are loyal to poverty. Some of us are loyal to dysfunction, and we're loyal to it because we're loyal to the people who introduced us to it. It's time for us to become loyal to success, to happiness, to purpose. And that means that you may be the only one in your family that's having to do this. You may be the only one that's going to step out and say, I'm going to think different. I'm going to do different. And I'm going to stand in this until somebody else can see it. You're going to look crazy. People are going to talk about you. It happens to me. It has happened. It is currently happening. And I know it will continue to happen. But guess what? I feel so much better about myself now. I'm not suicidal like I used to be. Even when I'm in my low moments, they don't go as low as they used to. And that's a blessing. And I want that for you. I want you to be encouraged. But if you don't value yourself, then you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're wealthy. Just being you. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to have a show. You don't have to buy a house or a car to be wealthy. You're wealthy because God created you. He blew his breath of life into you, and you're alive. That's how I know you're wealthy. That's all I need to know that you're wealthy. I don't need to know about how you got here. I don't need to know about what you're doing right now. Just the fact that he thought enough of you to create you. I want you to know your wealth. You are wealthy, woman. You are wealthy, man. Whomever you are, child, boy, or girl, you are wealthy. I want the world to know, but mostly I want you to know. And I want you to know that in your heart. Now you think about that. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. We're going to go higher. When we allow Christ into our hearts, we go higher. When we embrace our wealth, we live on a higher level. Let's let Shobaraka help us with this. Higher love. This is going out to you, Clarissa. Thanks for telling me about this song. Beautiful song. I'll be back to close out after this. It's been a great day, great show with you guys. Love y'all. Adelai Brown, your heart coach. And pre-order your copy of the new book. It's coming out soon, guys. I'm holding it in my hand. I can't believe it. TheHeartConnections.com. High five.